Hey guys, I am Nixie and welcome to my channel, and today we are doing something just a little bit different. So here on my channel I do want to have predominantly gameplays, just different games that I'm going through, my favourite games and all that sort of stuff here on the channel, but I do want to sprinkle in a couple of different kinds of videos as well here and there, just to sort of break up the gameplay a little bit as well. So I really just wanted to sit down and sort of go through, talk about some of my absolute favourite games, some games that just hold a special place in my heart, and I'm interested to see what games influenced you growing up. What are your favourite games? What gives you that real nostalgia feeling when you hear like the theme tune or you see like the packaging? So let's get into it. So as a child, the console that I remember the most in the house was the Sega Mega Drive, which was actually my dad's, and he was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, who wasn't when that came out, really? So he had all of the games, and I remember them being in these like what seemed like huge cartridges nowadays. That you just like put in the chart. You'd have to blow it, get the dust out, so it would read it properly as well. So that's sort of like the first memories of games for me is Sonic the Hedgehog. So there's no way that I couldn't put Sonic on this list, but in particular this one, this Sonic and Knuckles one, I was obsessed with Knuckles. Because he's a different character as well, like that up until that point you hadn't really seen that often. He was super strong, fast, he was red, which is my favourite colour, and I was absolutely obsessed. Could I play the game? Was I any good at it? Absolutely not. A lot of the Sonic games anyway were just pressing the button, going really fast and hoping that you don't run into something with spikes on it and dying and losing all of your rings. And there's a particular level where it had it was like autumny, those sorts of colours and stuff, and that's the levels that stick in my mind the strongest. But whenever I hear the theme tune to Sonic, it just like, it gets me in the feels. Like I feel it, like it just takes me right back to being a kid and not being able to play the game. And hearing that Sega. It's so good. I love it. And yeah, this is like the game where you could pick whether you wanted to play Sonic or whether you wanted to play as Knuckles, and of course I always chose Knuckles. I was absolutely obsessed with him. So this game, and to be honest all of the early Sonic the Hedgehog games, just hold a special place in my heart. While we're on the subject of Sega Mega Drive, there's also another one that I don't really hear anyone sort of speak about it or that have played this game. I'm sure there are loads of people that have played this game, but this is one that sticks out in my mind as well, especially when I think of the Sega Mega Drive, and which is this Altered Beast. Like, I remember seeing the cover of this, which you can see on screen now, and like it looks pretty badass, to be fair. So basically what this game was it's a side-scrolling game, and you start off as a guy and you're going through and you're kicking and punching your way through various enemies. And then you can level up and you turn into a real pumped guy, muscly man. And then you can level up again and you turn into a beast. So you would be either like a wolf, a bear, there's like some dragon lizardy thing as well, a tiger that you turned into, and then there was always like a boss fight at the end of the level as well. And again, this was such a hard game. Like, I actually played it a couple of years ago because you could get you can get a lot of the classics now, made for modern consoles or whatever. They're made for that you can play on more modern consoles. So if you don't have a Mega Drive, you can still actually play these games. And it was still hard. was it in the 90s that this one actually came out in? Yeah, so this came out in 1988. So it's getting on a little bit now. But yeah, it was hard back then, and it's still hard now. So let's see if we can find some gameplay.
Rise from your grave.
Here we go. Ah, good music. Proper arcade game. But yeah, so you start off as guys, become a beefy guy.
Power up.
Power up.
Power up.
Yeah, and then you get even more beefy, piling on those muscles. And then here we go. Yes.
Welcome to your doom.
Boss fight. Yes. So good. But yeah, I think I never got to the second level, and I played it a lot. Obviously, I just wasn't very good. But yeah, so whenever anyone says anything about Sega, this is the other game that I always think of is Altered Beast. And I love the graphics on it as well, that like proper arcade style. And to be fair, it still looks well now, in my opinion anyway. So moving on from the Sega, I didn't actually have my own console for quite a while, until I basically bought one myself, apart from the Game Boy, which we'll get to later. But my brother would always have the newest PlayStations when they came out, so I would inherit his old ones. So I got the PlayStation 1 from him, and on that, probably one of my favourite early games ever, and I still like the franchise now, is Soul Blade. It's called Soulcalibur now, but back then it was called Soul Blade. A good old-fashioned button bashing fighting game, which I love a good button bashing game. And this was probably like the first game that I really got into and that I would play, that I went through all of the storyline, and still continue to play like afterwards, just like doing arcade mode, just doing one-on-one battles. I absolutely loved this game, and I still played the other Soulcalibur games as well. So this is basically, like I say, good old-fashioned fighting game, arcade style. There is a story mode to it as well, so it's not just like one-on-one battles. You can do, nowadays as well, you can play it online as well. And I believe they have tournaments going off as well for Soulcalibur. But this is really where my love of fighting games came from, is from this game. Let's just play the intro, just for good old time's sake. So good.
Transcending history and the world, a tale of soul and swords, eternally retold.
Yes! Taki, she was one of my favourites, absolute favourites. Like, Sophia, don't like her, never did. Sunmina, she was also one of my favourites. This is giving me goosebumps. Yeah, blades, soul edge. You ready for some typical sexy lady action? All games had to include something like this, didn't they? This is like also one of the first games that I really got into where like each character had their own story, their own background. They're also unique characters as well. Ah, so good! So yeah, each character had their own backstory. They were all involved somehow with the Soul Edge, which is like these evil blades that had been created and that were wielded by Cervantes, this like crazy evil pirate guy. Oh, such a good game. So I played this one just extensively, trying to change my weapons, but yeah, oh, so good. So I loved playing. So Taki, she's the ninja in the game, and she is so badass. So she's cursed herself. So yeah, she was my go-to character, and then also Sungmina as well. She was my absolute ride or die. So she would have like this. I'm sure there's a very technical term, but to me, it's almost like a hockey stick with a blade on the end. And she's so badass. She'd throw that blade around. She would be up in the air, she'd be doing spins, everything. I love this game, guys. And all the characters, they have all their own unique weapons, their own unique styles. A great game. If you have a chance to play it, you like a good old button bashing combo type game, arcade style, then I would recommend this. So I cannot mention my childhood without, of course, mentioning Pokemon. Like, who did not play Pokemon? Crazy people, that's who. So I remember we had the Game Boy, this good old fashioned Game Boy, black and white. Of course you had Mario on it, but Pokemon was where it's at. Pokemon Yellow. So I remember my brother, he got Pokemon before me, and he got Pokemon Yellow. So I think at the time that was the only Pokemon game that was out. I was super jealous, of course. So I used to borrow his game to play my Game Boy. And eventually I got Pokemon Red for mine. I played this game for hours and hours, trying to collect all the different Pokemon, trying to beat all of the gyms, and become champion. I'm sure you already know what Pokemon is. I'm sure you probably played it yourself. And it was great because around the time that this was coming out, not only did you have the game, you also had the series come out as well. So the Indigo League, Brock, Ash and Misty to go alongside with the game. You also had cards. Who didn't collect the cards? I remember getting completely scammed by this one kid because I really wanted Eevee. He had the Eevee card and I really wanted it, and he basically took like 5 of my Pokemon cards just for his Eevee. But yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with the cards, with the series, and then you got a film. Yeah, and then you had the film as well, which also came out, which was about Mewtwo and Mew. And oh my god, if you didn't cry at that film, you didn't have a soul. You were heartless. Such a good film as well, being a child, obviously. So there really was this absolute explosion onto the scene for this game. You got the game, you got the trading cards, and you had TV series, and you got the films. Like, it's no wonder that it's one of the biggest franchises out there, if not the biggest franchise out there. Like, everyone knows what Pokemon is. Which, speaking of, I am super excited that Diamond and Pearl are getting a remake, remaster, which is going to be coming out in November on the Switch, which is super, super exciting. Those were actually the last Pokemon games that I played. So I haven't played, like, is it X and Y, Shield and Sword. I haven't actually played those, but I think that for November I'm gonna have to pick up a copy of Diamond or Pearl, or maybe even both. You know, just for old time's sake, obviously. So next I want to talk about Zelda. Now, when the Wii sort of first came out, it was one of the first games to come out on the Wii, if I remember correctly, was The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And at the time I was on a break, like on my summer holidays, school holidays. My mum had just bought the Wii, which was a completely different experience with motion controls. Using those instead of just having like a handheld controller. So I remember playing Zelda on the Game Boy, and I wasn't really a massive fan, probably because I wasn't really sure what the hell I was doing or how the hell I was playing it. But this was one of the games that came in the bundle with the Wii, along with like Raving Rabbids, games like bowling, all that sort of stuff, which you've probably seen. But yeah, so this was one of the games that came with the Wii bundle. So on my holidays I thought, do you know what, no one else is really playing this so in the house, so I'll give it a go. My god, did I spend days and days on this game. I absolutely loved it. I loved the motion controllers. I know people are sort of like 50-50 with, like, they either loved the motion controllers or they absolutely hated it, which is fine, each to their own. But for me it was a completely new experience, to like having to use both hands to shield, to swing your sword. Yeah, completely different experience, and for me that helped to really engross me into this game as well, because you really had to concentrate on what you was doing, and I played the hell out of this game. And then I got all the way to the sort of last hour or so of the game and I got stuck. So love this game, but I didn't actually finish it. So I'm hoping that with them releasing the Skyward Sword on the Switch, doing that as a remaster, I really hope that they do bring Twilight Princess, because I would really like to play this game again. It's quite a long game, which I enjoyed as well, because it wasn't just like, you know, you play it for a few hours and it's over with. And there was always like different stuff to do, like it was always keeping the story. Like there was so many different areas and like different temples to do as you're going on the story, meeting different characters, picking up loads and loads of different gear as well. Like, so you weren't just using a shield and a sword, you were using a ton of different stuff as well, and like constantly collecting stuff, learning new skills, new attacks, and it looked beautiful as well. Like, so Link in this game looks beautiful as well, like his different tunics that he gets, like the attention to detail in this game is, they really stepped it up in this game for me, and it'll always stick in my mind. So like I said, I really hope that they do end up bringing this one to the Switch eventually. I know there's a bit of in and ahhing whether that's actually going to happen or not, but there's bound to be loads of people that will want to play this game again, like if they don't have access to a Wii or the Wii U. So yeah, I absolutely love this game so much, love the Zelda games once it developed on from the Game Boy. So I think I will at some point probably do at least Skyward Sword, because that's recently been remastered, so I'll probably do that for the channel as well. Like I say, it is quite a long game, one of the longer Zelda games, but it's so much fun. Like I say, they always have different temples, loads of stuff to do, so yeah. And I of course cannot do my favourite games without including Devil May Cry. Now Devil May Cry 4 in particular. So this game saw a new character, Nero, appear on the scene. So it's predominantly about his story, what was happening with him. And this was one of the first games as well that I played where it was like that sort of, you get ratings for your fighting. And like the characters are so in-depth, they're so sassy, for want of a better word. They're so sassy, so cocky and confident. And they really do show off while they're fighting, which I absolutely love. Great soundtrack, just over the top action combos. It's got demons in there, you're fighting off hordes of demons, so what's not to like. So yeah, with this game I absolutely fell in love with Nero as well. So as you can see, he's got a devil arm, and just how confident and cocky he is, but also how so focused he is on family and what they mean to him and this girl Kyrie. It's a great game in my opinion. Anyway, it's just so over the top and I love that. So I think as well, like, Devil May Cry is definitely a series that I want to get eventually, not straight away, but I want to eventually get all the games up on the channel as well, because I do feel like they're definitely worth playing, definitely worth checking out. As you know, we're currently in the middle of Devil May Cry 5, so if you haven't watched that, then definitely go check that out. In Devil May Cry 5, this is where they've really stepped up their game in terms of graphic. The storyline so far is great, and their character arcs as well. They really do go in depth with building up their characters, giving them a storyline, a background, but also keeping that mystery within the characters as well, so you learn more and more about the characters as the story goes on. But yeah, so this was the first Devil May Cry game that I actually played. This was on Xbox 360, so you can get all the remastered versions now, so they have remastered them all and sort of updated them so you can play them on PC, PlayStation they're on as well. Certainly worth checking out. Like I said, I do want to get these up on the channel at some point as well. And speaking of over the top games, Doom Eternal is one of my all-time favourite games, just like everything else that I'm saying on this list. So this game came out fairly recently, and it is a relentless game. It's so intense. You constantly fighting demons, fighting through hordes of demons, and you are playing as a badass demon slayer. This is another one where the intro, it just gets you right pumped up, ready to go. In fact, let's play it. Let's go. Let's just hear it.
Against all the evil
that voice.
hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
They did such an amazing job on this game. Like, you feel that in your bones. And the soundtrack to this game is unbelievable.
They're everywhere.
Casualties range in the billions.
That's it, hell's taken over Earth.
We must pray now, brothers. Pray that he is watching.
Oh, he is watching.
Please, anyone, if you can hear me, if you're out there.
Ah, there he is. One of the most badass game characters that there is.
Attempting to acquire the Hell Priest signal.
Oh, and then you hear the soundtrack
Nearly
building up.
60% of our planet has been consumed by the invaders.
We have the Hell Priest signal locked in. The target is marked, but the signal will not hold for long.
For it is he that they fear, not man, or his armies. They fear the mark of the beast.
Yeah, they do. Like that intro, just it gets you in the right mood for what the game has in store. Like I say, it is so relentless. You're constantly fighting, and there's like little collectibles that you can go and get as well. There's like what they call slay gates, so you can go in and do an arena fight as well, and they get progressively harder as you carry on. The levels are quite big as well, but each one is really different to the other ones as well. Like I say, loads of fighting. It's such a fun game, even though it is really intense at times. It's still so much fun. Like, they did an amazing job on this game, and it really makes you utilize your weaponry that you collect throughout the game as well, because there's like demons are weaker to certain bullets and weapons. And so I've played this a few times, and I think again this is one of the games that I would like to get up on the channel as well, because it's so fun to play. It's intense. There's also 2 DLCs as well, Ancient Gods 1 and 2 that they've done for it, and they recently did an update for it, so like the graphics are even better. They've added in ray tracing and all that sort of good stuff. And for a character that doesn't say anything, he's so badass. One of my favourite character designs ever. So yeah, I'll probably get a series up as well for this on the channel at some point. It's so fun. I haven't actually played the DLCs yet, but I do have them installed, so yeah, maybe we can do that on the channel in the future as well. I can't wait for them to do the next one, to see where they're gonna take it next, because this was really elevated in the terms of the Doom franchise. Doom 2016 already was sort of at next level, looked really good, played really well, but this one just absolutely blew my mind when I played this. And then the final game that I would like to talk about, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is my all-time favourite game. I don't know anyone that's played this game that didn't love this game. It's absolutely humongous map, and you have a great storyline to begin with, where you're trying to find someone. And this is one of the first games that I played as well, where your decisions and what you do in the game can actually affect the outcome of the game as well, like in a drastic way. And it even tells you as well, like once you've made one of those big decisions, how it sort of affects the outcome as well. So it just really make you think as well, like, am I making the right choice? Is this gonna negatively affect this person? And as well as that, you've got loads of different creatures, loads of different monsters, loads of characters that you can interact with and that you meet along on your journey as well. So you've got this main storyline that you're going, but you have an insane amount of side quests as well. Like, you know, we've all seen the meme where with like Henry Cavill, like The Witcher would have come out sooner, but Henry kept getting distracted by side quests. Like, that is true. Like, you could spend so long just doing I have spent so long doing so many of the side quests, just trying to find things, like finding new armors, new weapons. So there's so much to do in this game. I've played through this a couple of times. I've racked up over 400 hours playing this game. So there are 2 DLCs as well that you can play. So one is Blood and Wine, and then the other is Hearts of Stone. So the DLCs add 2 new areas. Well, a new area of the main map that you can go to, and then the other one, the Blood and Wine, adds a whole new map in a completely different like country in the Witcher world, which is completely different to the main map. I understand why they sort of brought that one out last, because once you get there you don't want to leave. It's so pretty. And again, in each area there's another main storyline and loads of side quests that you can do as well. So it adds on a ton more hours to the game, but each one is so different and the storyline is so interesting, to me anyway. that it keeps you interested. Like, you never feel like it's a chore to play, or you never feel that it's really repetitive. Yeah, you're going off and killing monsters or dealing with people, but it never feels the same. And in the Blood and Wine DLC, that boss, the end boss in that, I found extremely difficult. It took me quite a while to defeat them. I almost rage quit a few times, but you know, I persevered and I succeeded. So I've played The Witcher quite extensively. Again, I would love to get this up on the channel as a full series, like the main game and both DLCs. I understand that it's a really long game. It's a hell of a long game. So I'm just trying to sort of think the best way to incorporate that into the channel. But yeah, it came out in 2015. Still looks great, like the graphics. It still plays really well. It's still something that I regularly play. And honestly, I never get bored of it. It is such a shame that this was like the last which game that they're gonna do with Geralt in it anyway. They said that they might do another one, but it's gonna focus more on different witches, which would still be interested to see how that sort of plays if they do decide to do that. It's got to be my all-time favourite game that I've played. So there we have it, guys. These were some of my all-time favourite games. It's great to take a little trip down memory lane as well, just to see some of the games that I used to play growing up, and just listening to some of those soundtracks and music just hit me right in the feels, like gave me goosebumps. So let me know what your favourite games are. I'm always interested to hear people's favourite games, or games that give you nostalgia vibes from your childhood. Any games that you think I would really enjoy from this list as well, definitely leave them in the comments down below. And let me know if any of these games are in your top games of all time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, I am predominantly going to be uploading gameplay, games I'm playing, but I thought it'd just be fun to add in something a little different. So let me know if you enjoyed this and if you would like to see more videos like this, just sprinkled throughout the gameplay. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.